Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the tutorial. To this point, we have gone through the whole right side of the map. We've come back left through Jova, across the Dead River, when we are now at Brahms Mansion, where we're going to get the eyeball. So there's a lot of things going on in this mansion. You're going to make your decisions on how you're going to continue the run based on what you've got here. We got 208 hearts entering the mansion, which is pretty good. We're going to need to buy 100 hearts worth of oak stakes in here, and then we're going to need to buy a 200 heart whip. So we are technically 96 hearts away from having everything we need, because we're going to need a total of 300 hearts between now and the Morning Star. So there's a lot of things that can happen here in this mansion. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things, based on where your heart count is, based on your time, all of those things, which category you're running, etc. Lots of things can happen in this mansion, and we're going to talk about some of that right now. First thing I want to have you be aware of and careful about is there's a little jump right here over these spikes to the right. If you jump too early on this block, you're going to hit your head like that, and you'll hit those spikes. Look how much damage that did. It took 4 health away. Do not do that. I've lost a lot of runs that way. You'll want to let your feet kind of hang over the edge before you jump. Like if you jumped here, you'd be fine, right? If you jumped here, you'd probably, nope, not good enough. So it's got to be at least halfway. You see? So when you're walking here, just be careful, because I've lost runs from hitting those spikes. All right, these Spear Knights here, this is the first time you're going to see these Spear Knights in the game. They are a heavy RNG enemy. They can make or break your run, depending on their attitude. If you're low on health and you're coming up these stairs, there's nothing you can do. If they hit you, they hit you. You're toast. But we're okay. We need to keep an eye on our heart count to make sure we are doing the right things. That's unfortunate. This guy here you can choose to boost off of if you have enough health, like that, or you can just wait for him and kill him on the way up the stairs. It's up to you. If you have full health, taking those boosts doesn't hurt anything, and it actually saves you a little bit of time. You're gonna come up here, and you're gonna, if you're needing hearts, just go ahead and collect them now. You know what I mean? If you need them. But this spot right here is really important, because this gargoyle right here is going to be a determining factor in how your next section goes. So we were able to kill him without taking any damage, which is good. He did not drop a heart, which is bad. But right now our subpixel is actually zeroed out because we touched these stairs. So we can just walk, because we need a 0 subpixel going into this next room. We're going to come through here, and we're just going to, missed it. Okay, so that's unfortunate. We missed our floor drop, which means we're kind of screwed. I will show you the backup in here, because there is a backup, but I'll show you that here in a second. But let's go back to here. So let's say we are coming up these stairs, right? And the gargoyle does not do a nice thing, and it hits us. What that's going to do is it's going to effectively change our subpixel to where we cannot get this drop. And we need a zeroed out subpixel here to get this drop. Let's just try this again. We need a zeroed out subpixel here to get this drop. So if you take a hit, you have to retouch those stairs again. So we'll just start right here. We'll set a save state. All right. All right. So we're heading up here. We got an ass knight up there. We also have this gargoyle. So if we're climbing up, we take a hit. We no longer have a zeroed out subpixel, so we just need to touch those stairs again before we continue on. That's really important. Okay. Entering this room, the goal is to drop right here. If you've seen my glitches video, you've seen that drop and how we set it up. If you have not seen the glitches video yet, I absolutely recommend that you do so. At this point, we do not have an oak stake, so we're going to need to buy one of those right here. Now, we are running no wrong warp, so we do not want to go do that big death drop over there. Let's see if I can get this little now. So we'll just drop down here, kill that guy. There's a skeleton coming here. We'll stop right there and wait for him to pass, unless you have enough health to damage boost, which technically right now we do have enough health to damage boost. We're just not gonna. We'll take that boost right there, save us a little time. And then we have Death Fight. Okay, now this is something that you're going to want to practice. Okay, you don't have to kill all these bats, but I'm going to. Okay, so this fight right here is very important to learn the proper way to do it. So we're going to want to be on holy water there. And the idea is that you want to get Death down to the ground. You want to get him down to where his tunic is touching the ground. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to do a critical hit with our holy water. Now, Death has 120 HP. Each holy water does 1 HP of damage. So you should have to hit him 120 times with the holy water. But if you crit him, if you do a critical hit, he will not be able to live much longer. So the way we do that, the way I do it is I just walk straight. And then when we get right here, just let him sort of coax him down to the ground like that. And then we want to shoot our holy water at the front tip of his tunic right there. And this one did not go very well for me. I did not get that angled in just right, but we still got it. I think that was about 16 hits. So we did 16 HP of actual damage, and we killed him because that last one we did was a crit. Let's see what that looks like a little bit cleaner. Oh, hey, look at this pattern he's doing. You see how he's doing that floating up and down pattern? When he does that, it's almost impossible to get him to do what you want him to down at the bottom. That's a nasty pattern, and that's one of his only bad patterns. So this right here, just looking good. Let him get that tunic down to the ground. There's our 7th hit. And we're good. You can get him in 1 hit. If you get him just right, you can get him in 1 hit. 3. That's actually not bad. That's not a bad spot. If you can just hit him on the front tip of that tunic right as it touches the ground. If you look at the glitches video I did, it goes into this in a little more detail. That was a pretty poor death kill right there. It did not go very smoothly. We took some damage and took forever to get him killed. There we go, 4 hits. That's better. 4 hits acceptable. We took 1 scythe hit. That's fine. But the idea here is that you practice this to the point where you get to know his patterns. And that was not a very good one. Although we only took 1 HP of damage there, it still took us way too long to kill Death. Now, that's fine. I mean, if it takes you a few extra seconds, no big deal. Just don't take a ton of damage here and make sure he dies. Now, of course, if you're running glitchless, there's no need to kill him because you'd have to use your whip to kill him because you're not allowed to do crits in glitchless. So we can talk about that when we do if we ever do a glitchless tutorial. We'll see. But this is actually a bad pattern because he's staying off the ground. See that? So if he does that pattern, sometimes it makes more sense to go ahead and get the orb and then come back and hopefully he resets his pattern. But again, I like to get him kind of here and then just sort of coax him down to the ground by giving him a nice target. And then there we go. 3rd hit. 3rd hit with the holy water. We killed him. Now, we took a lot of damage there, unfortunately. I think we took 3 scythe hits there. So that was 3 hits again. And we took a lot of damage, though, unfortunately. So there is some give and take here. You do need this golden knife for no wrong warp. You can do it without it, but it makes the run significantly more feasible and much more pleasant if you have that sub weapon available to you. Particularly in Laruba and a few other places as well. Post Laruba, coming back through the fireman screen, it's really nice to have that golden knife, and coming through the graveyard. And the bridge of Doom. Those are nice places to have that. There we go. 1 hit, single hit, crit. That's the ultimate goal. Single hit crit, just like that. Yeah, that was unfortunate right there. Couldn't get him down to the ground. So The glitch video goes into some more detail here. There you go, 2-hitter quitter right there. Now we did take 2 scythe hits, which is unfortunate. We lost 3 health. But the reason that this works is that when that holy water disappears, when it breaks and disappears, if it is in contact with death, look at that, 2-hitter, and we took almost no damage there. But basically, it sucks death down to the shadow realm, basically. So, all right. Throw your oak stake, get your eyeball. Okay, we now have Drak's eyeball, and we have 3 of the 5 Drak parts. So now we're going to need to leave. You can always kill these bats, the last bat on the way out. Just like on your way in, you can kill the last bat on the way in because they'll start coming down. And it doesn't cost any time, but it could potentially drop a heart, which is nice. So it just don't farm here, obviously, but what the idea is that going through there, it's efficient to kill that last bat, either going left or right. If you're going right, the last bat on the right. If you're going left, the last bat on the left. But we're going to need some more hearts. Hearts are not terrible right now. Now, here's something to keep in mind. We have 198 hearts right now. We're getting ready to spend another 50. And then we're going to need 200 when we get to Ondel. So it's really important that we keep our heart count in mind. Okay, so we actually had some nice heart drops there. So by the second heart, now we see where our hearts are at. We're at 164 hearts. That's plenty. Anything less than 150 right here, and you're going to want to grind a little bit. Before we go up here, this is another section that I talked about in the glitches video, but it's an area where you'll want to practice a little bit. This is a clip. This is a ceiling clip here. Once you get your second oak stake and you're ready to go, you're going to go up here and we're going to ceiling clip right here. And I'm going to do this a couple of times, then I'll explain what I'm doing exactly. Yeah, it's a pretty simple trick. It doesn't mean it's easy to accomplish. It takes practice because what you're doing basically is manipulating the camera angle, the camera height to allow that to happen. And I'll explain that right now. So you see where the camera is. Now, I'm going to climb to the top of the stairs. Watch what the camera does when I get up here. Okay? Now watch when I go up here. When I jump up one level, watch what happens to the camera. See that? If I jump up another level, watch what happens to the camera. See that? So the problem here is that camera is rising very quickly. Now this guy reappears. If we want to stop that camera, all we have to do is do a jump, a neutral jump like this. Watch. Notice how that camera didn't move until I completed my jump? So we're going to use that mechanic to our advantage. So if we jump up here, neutral jump, that camera just stays and doesn't move until we complete the jump. So here's what we're going to do. We start down here because that's what keeps our camera low. We're going to do 2 jumps and then a neutral jump forward like this. See that? And then jump up and then start tapping A. And all that does is it prevents that camera from scrolling up. So you're actually on top of that block down there before the ceiling is even loaded. So we're going to go jump, jump, neutral, jump, and then tap. And the idea is that it'll allow you on top of that block before it loads the ceiling, so there's no collision detection with that ceiling, right? That's a really neat trick, and it saves a ton of time, because otherwise you got to go this way, and you got to go all the way up and all the way around and take that damage. There's these 2 gargoyles here that always damage you no matter what. Excuse me, I'm not feeling very well today. So yeah, we'll just start here, move on up. We do a jump, jump, neutral jump, jump, and then we just start tapping A until it allows us to clip. Now, let's say you get here and you have 140 hearts. Remember, you don't want to leave this spot up here until you've got at least 150, 160 is preferable. So let's say we got 140 hearts. There's a couple of ways we can grind, but really, we've got a gargoyle that's going to keep spawning over here to the right, and he drops a 6-heart heart, a big heart. So we can actually just grind these hearts here if we want to. See that? He reappears on the right-hand side of the screen. We can just kill him and just farm. So when you get to 160, I have 186 now. When you get to 160, just go. We'll fall through here. And you can stop and grab any hearts you want. If you don't need hearts, like me right now, I don't need a lot of hearts. I don't need to do a lot of extra killing. I can just sort of skip and save myself some time because our hearts are good. Now, if the hearts were bad, obviously we would grind up top. We would grind up top, and then we would, fall down here and kill as many enemies as we could on the way out. Now, here's another spot where a good floor drop exists. We have the stairs here and a 2 height block on the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch these stairs to zero out the subpixel, jump, bonk, and then we should be able to floor drop. And we're going to go here, here. Oops, did not mean to take that damage. If you have plenty of hearts here, you can actually just use a little golden knife there if you want to kill that guy. Otherwise, you can just whip him, and then you fall through that hole right there, okay? Let's do that whole section again. This time we'll do the whipping instead of the golden knife. And then we fall through that hole right there and do not land on the spikes, okay? 196 hearts coming out of here. We already have almost enough. But that's going to put us in this spot right here. So then we head on. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for Brahms Mansion. Not a lot there. Really, the biggest things to focus on this mansion are the floor drop setups, making sure you can crit death, learning the ceiling clip on the way out, and then being efficient while you're collecting hearts. Remember, you need 200 hearts by the time you get to Ondel to buy the holy water. And in order for us to be able to do that, or not to buy the holy water, to buy the Morning Star, in order to do that, you've got to walk out of this mansion. You have to walk out of this mansion with no less than 170 hearts. If you don't have 160 up top, grind to 160 and then walk out killing everything on the way. You should be able to get to 170 pretty easy. And from here, we will be able to get all the way to Ondel pretty easily and get the stuff that we need. Since we're here, let's go ahead and get our let's go ahead and show the inputs here to get our red crystal. So right now we have the blue crystal, but we want the red crystal, right? So that's what we're going to do. Remember, when we came over to Brahms, we had to show the heart. We had to show the heart to get over here. So this time we're going to hold the rib, and we're going to go get that red crystal. We'll get the red crystal, and then we'll end the tutorial. If you don't have the heart equipped, then it will take you to where you need to go. Now, let's say on accident, let's say you had the heart equipped here on accident, like, oh shit, I have the heart equipped. What you have to do then is switch off the heart, and then once you enter this next screen, you've got to jump. I always like to jump on the way in, and then on the way out. And what that does is it resets the destination. Feel free to kill these guys here if you want to. You can do a dash jump here if you can pull one off, like that. I talked about dash jumps in another area of the tutorial, and also in the glitches video. So we come up here, and we're going to grab this red crystal. Okay, so that puts us in a pretty darn good spot right there. We have the red crystal. We have the eyeball. We have the golden knife now that we killed death, and we are on our way to success. So when we come back, we're going to do red crystal to Morning Star. We're going to go by the Morning Star, and then we'll show you how to take the tornado, and we're going to go through the whole thing. So this has been the Brahms to red crystal. This has been the Brahms to red crystal section. I will come back with the next section here very shortly. So hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you want me to expound on something, leave me a question down below. Leave me a comment. If you need some additional information on any of the stuff we talked about here, feel free to reference the glitches video. Feel free to reference anything else you'd like to, or you can just ask me a question and I can make a tutorial video for you on whatever CV2 stuff you might have questions on. If I know it, I will teach it. If I don't know it, I'll learn it and then I'll teach it. So thanks again for being here. My name is Opry. I'll be right back soon with the next section of the CV2 speedrun tutorial. Thanks for being here.